in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Get Dad ready for every job with all the tools he needs this Father's Day. The time by Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Label Crafts Jamaica Limited offers exceptional finishes that will make your product extraordinary at an affordable cost. The Temperature by Label Crafts Jamaica Limited, the #1 choice for label printing is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
In Nationwide News at this hour, Dr. R. Brian Landgren is the new governor of the Bank of Jamaica.
Jamaica's point-to-point inflation rate climbed to 7.5% as of the month of July.
Murders down 20%.
At least 11 people, including 2 children, killed in road crashes over the weekend.
St. Anne's Bay Hospital reviewing case of woman who died at the facility with significant stool buildup in her body.
Inside of her, we found about 2 liters of stool inside of her. That 2 liters of stool. So she's there from the 29th until, that's the issue.
In news from the rest of the world, Antigua Prime Minister says Jamaicans make up 15% of the country's prison population.
Congo's Ebola outbreak becomes the deadliest on record in the Central African nation.
In sports, Olympic and world medalists continue to sing the praises of late coach Stephen Francis.
And late in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, CCJ President Justice Winston Anderson has strongly rejected allegations of panel fixing and attempts to influence judgments as untrue. We'll get reactions from King's Counsel Peter Champagny and Senior Attorney at Law Anthony Williams.
In the nation's business, several occupants at the Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, Trelawney, have been given eviction notices by the National Resources Conservation Authority, NRCA. We'll get reactions from President of the Derby Fishing Beach Limited, Ralston Duncan, fisherman Hosang Plummer, and restaurant and bar owner Juliet Plummer.
And at 7, it's the comments section. This evening, we're asking, what is something you think should be taught in school but isn't? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90 FM. All these and more as we take you home on air, Nationwide 90 FM, this Monday afternoon. It's Monday, August 17, 2026.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Veteran central banker and former regional financial stability advisor Dr. R. Brian Landgren has been named the new governor of the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ. The Ministry of Finance announced his appointment in a release on Monday. Dr. Landgren's appointment will be effective Wednesday, August 19. He succeeds Richard Biles, whose term ends Tuesday after 7 years. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The appointment was made by the Governor-General in Council following a selection process run by a search committee set up in April, which the ministry said considered a field of both local and international candidates. Dr. R. Brian Landgren arrives with more than 2 decades in central banking, financial stability, and multilateral development work. He's held senior roles at the BOJ in financial stability and economic research. He also served as Financial Stability Advisor at the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, the IMF-administered body that advises central banks across the region. He holds a PhD in economics from Pennsylvania State University and has published extensively on financial stability and monetary policy. Finance Minister Favour Williams described him as a forward-looking leader whose experience spans Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the wider international development community. Dr. Langren, in a statement, signaled continuity on the central bank's core mandate. He says he's committed to preserving the bank's hard-won credibility and independence, to keep inflation low and stable, and to advancing the modernization of the financial system for the benefit of every Jamaican. He says he will work with the BOJ team, the financial sector, and regional and international partners to deepen resilience and support long-term development. Richard Biles took office in 2019 and steered monetary policy through what the ministry called some of the most testing conditions in a generation. These include the COVID-19 economic shock, the global inflation surge that followed, Hurricane Beryl in 2024, the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa in 2025, and this year's oil shock stemming from the Middle East War. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Jamaica's point-to-point inflation rate has climbed to 7.5% as of the month of July. That's compared to 6.7% the month before. That's according to the latest information provided by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, on Monday. It's the highest point-to-point inflation figure the country has recorded since February of 2023. The increases have pushed the rate further outside of the Bank of Jamaica's target band of 4 to 6%. This was influenced mainly by the point-to-point inflation rates for the divisions food and non-alcoholic beverages, transport and housing, water, electricity, and gas and other fuels. Meanwhile, the monthly inflation rate for July increased by 1.2%.
Jamaica recorded a 20% decline in homicides between January 1 and August 15 this year. That's the latest crime data published by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. The JCF says 339 murders were recorded across the island during the period. That's 87 fewer than the 426 people murdered over the corresponding period in 2025. Leading the murder tally is the St. James Police Division with 42 homicides recorded since January. On the opposing end, the St. Andrew North Police Division continues to record the largest reduction in murders year to date. The division reported 8 killings up to August 15, a 63% decline when compared to 2025. Shootings are also falling, with 330 incidents recorded so far this year. It's a 25% drop compared to last year. Other major crime categories are also trending downward. Rape is down by 13%, robbery down by 24%, and break-ins by 10%.
Meanwhile, Commanding Officer for Area 4, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Michael Phipps, is crediting peaceful outreach initiatives such as Project STAR for the reduction in major crimes in the Kingston Central Police Division. ACP Phipps was speaking on a recent episode of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's A Force for Good podcast released on Sunday.
And of course, our JDF partners who work within the zone of special operation have been doing a tremendous job, and we are seeing the desired results. So we hope for this to continue. So we'll continue with our engagement of the communities, and of course, we will do what we have to do in terms of the persons who still believe that they must be a part of a gang, or persons who believe that they must still try to perpetrate and influence crime. So those persons are being given the necessary attention.
ACP Michael Phipps, Commanding Officer for Area 4. Between January 1 and August 15, the division has seen a 15% drop in crime. This year, the Kingston Central Division has seen 5 murders, 7 fewer than the corresponding period last year. This represents a decline of nearly 60%. Project STAR is a 5-year social and economic transformation project that targets under-resourced, underserved communities experiencing high levels of crime or violence. But last month, Project STAR announced that it was set to continue beyond its original 5-year timeline. ACP Phipps says the police continue to pursue violence producers in the division. In other news, at least 11 people, including 2 children, have been killed in road crashes across the country between last Friday and Sunday. The deadly weekend on the nation's roads pushes this year's road fatalities to 210. Robian Williams reports.
The road fatalities occurred in a series of crashes across several parishes between Friday and Sunday, with speeding, dangerous overtaking, and other risky road user behavior again emerging as major concerns. On Friday, August 14, fatal crashes were recorded in 3 parishes, 1 fatality in Adelphi, St. James, a 68-year-old man who was killed on Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew, and a hit-and-run collision in St. Mary. The deadly trend continued on Saturday with a double fatal crash on P.J. Patterson Highway, claiming the lives of 2 men. A 57-year-old motorcyclist was also killed in a crash in Hanover, while a 39-year-old man died in a collision at Tower Isle in St. Mary. And on Sunday, 2 separate double fatal crashes claimed 4 more lives, including 2 children. About 3:30 Sunday afternoon, 2 public passenger vehicles were involved in a crash along the AGR Byfield Highway in the vicinity of St. Anne's Bay. An adult male passenger and an 11-year-old child were killed. The Traffic Analysis Unit of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch says the possible causes include improperly overtaking on the offside, excessive speed without regard for the prevailing conditions, and loss of control. Around midday Sunday, another double fatal crash occurred on Kitson Town Road in St. Catherine North. A male pedestrian and a 14-year-old child were killed in a collision involving a motor truck. The Traffic Analysts Unit says the possible contributing factors include the pedestrian holding onto the vehicle, slipping or falling, and the pedestrian's error of judgment or negligence. The latest deaths come against the backdrop of continued concern about road safety in Jamaica. Between April and June, the country recorded 75 fatal crashes, resulting in 83 deaths. Speeding accounted for 24% of those fatalities. Pedestrians accounted for 22 deaths, private vehicle drivers 21, motorcyclists 20, and private vehicle passengers 12. St. Anne recorded the highest number of fatal crashes during that period, with 12, followed by St. Catherine with 10, Westmoreland and Manchester with 9 each, and St. James with 7. Together, those 5 parishes accounted for 57% of all road fatalities during the quarter. As at August 17, Jamaica has recorded 181 fatal crashes, claiming 210 lives. That's a 12% reduction compared with the corresponding period in 2025. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz is expressing deep concern over the continued loss of lives on the nation's roads. In a statement on Monday, Minister Vaz says the weekend's fatalities are deeply troubling and should serve as a stark warning for every road user of the importance of using the roads carefully. He further states that the continued loss of lives cannot be normalized. He says the country is facing a national crisis. Minister Vaz is also making a renewed appeal for Jamaicans to treat road safety as a shared national responsibility and to help bring an end to the needless deaths occurring on the nation's roads.
An investigation has been launched into the case of a woman who died at St. Anne's Bay Hospital with significant stool buildup in her body. The woman, 33-year-old Kenise Dunn, was admitted to the facility on July 29. She was 9 months into her pregnancy and had complained that she had not passed stool for several days. She died just over 2 weeks later on August 14, 3 days after giving birth. Kenise's family has accused the facility of negligence. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
Kenise's uncle, Kirk, who spoke with Nationwide this morning on Monday, says his niece called him from the hospital on August 7, telling him she needed an ultrasound at another medical facility in the parish. However, Kirk says Kenise told him she was informed there was no ambulance to take her and the hospital was short-staffed. Kirk says he visited his niece on Sunday, August 9. On that day, 12 days into her admission period, Kenise informed her uncle that she had still not had a bowel movement.
I went down there on Sunday. I spoke to her. She keep complaining about she has been in the hospital from the 29th. She has not passed any stool. And her belly was paining and killing her. And her belly was beginning to swell. I said, Punky, what the doctor says, because you must talk to the doctor. She said, Uncle Kirk, go talk to the doctor, no, man, because all me talk, me not get nothing from the damn doctor.
He says his attempts to get information from the doctor on duty were futile. Kirk says although his niece asked him to get further information, the doctor told him she would not divulge details because he was not her next of kin. Meanwhile, Kirk says he sought assistance from a state minister and was told on Monday, August 10 by his niece that she was being taken to a facility in Ocho Rios to get the requisite ultrasound done. He says when he called his niece the following morning, Tuesday, August 11, he did not get her. Kirk says another family member who was at the hospital sought to find out what was happening with Kenise and observed urgent movement on the maternity ward. They later learned Kenise had been rushed off for an emergency surgery. This after delivering her son and learning there was air under her diaphragm. Kirk says later that Tuesday afternoon, the family member called him back to say the doctor was asking for other relatives to come to the hospital. Kirk says they rushed to the hospital and were told about a series of complications during Kenise's surgery.
They bucked up on something that they weren't bargaining for. They saw a tumor in her colon and that they had to take out her colon and that her bowels got ruptured and they had to take out her large bowel. I said, Doc, stop. But this is a major surgery that you guys did on her. He said yes, and his exact word was pressure burst pipe. So apparently when she was giving birth, several things get damaged into her.
According to Kirk, the family was then told that 2 liters of stool was found inside Kenise's body.
I said, Doc, I still don't understand. He said, well, inside of her, we found like about 2 liters of stool inside of her. I said, Doc, 2 liters of stool. So she's there from the 29th until, that's the issue.
He says Kenise had also suffered damage to her heart, liver, and kidney. The family was informed that the St. Anne's Bay Hospital could no longer provide the care Kenise needed. Kirk says they were also told about 3 hospitals that could provide the care, but those facilities were at capacity. Kirk says the family called everyone they believed could assist with having her transferred, but Kenise passed away before they had any luck. Her family has accused the facility of negligence. Nationwide contacted the Northeast Regional Health Authority, which directed our reporter to the CEO of the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, Dennis Morgan. He told our news center that an internal review of the case has commenced. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
You are listening to Nationwide News at 5 more news after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is
5:17.
Termites, rodents, or birds infesting your home or office? Call Rent-A-Kill Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest assessment island-wide. The temperature brought to you by Rent-A-Kill Initial is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Continuing the news, several occupants at the Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, Trelawney have been given eviction notices by the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, NRCA. The fisherfolk and small business operators have been given 1 month to vacate the property, which they have occupied for years. The notices were issued on Monday morning. Shalois Michael reports.
Nationwide News obtained a copy of one of the notices addressed to Juliet Plummer. It says the NRCA, the proprietor of Jacob Taylor Beach, is giving her 1 month from the date the notice was served to quit and deliver up possession of the unit she occupies. According to the notice, the premises are required for a public purpose as well as to facilitate repairs and improvements. The notice bears a signature, but the date, place, time, and name of the person who served it were left blank. Plummer owns a restaurant and bar at the location. When our news center contacted her, she says the notice was issued on Monday morning.
This beach was given to fishermen. This morning they came with police. I wasn't here. I didn't reach here because it's early. But who wasn't here? They put up notice on their doors, and a couple of the doors them still. And over here they give them the notice in their hand with no date.
Plummer, who says she's been at the location for decades, says the notice could affect about 70 occupants.
Maybe it's about 70 fishermen or more. Because you have spear shooter, you have who use the trap, net, a lot of us. Some of them who have the shop here, they are fishermen also. I'm here 28 years. This lady, Jennifer Clark, she's here 40 years.
She says the group's next step is to seek legal advice.
They always try to do it, we have demonstration and it's already down here, in Duncan, because they always try to take us off. We need a lawyer, we have to get a lawyer, and we cannot just leave it like this.
Our news center contacted Chairman of the NRCA, Christopher Weems Stone, on the matter, but he declined to comment. But Nationwide News understands the property is being acquired as part of the government's efforts to improve the country's beaches for public use. Shaloy Smichael for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute. Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, says Jamaicans account for 15% of the country's prison population. Brown made the disclosure while discussing the growing number of non-nationals in the prison system and concerns about criminal activity involving people who have overstayed their time in the country. Brown adds that there's an increase in non-nationals, particularly Jamaicans, who commit crimes in their country and then seek refuge in Antigua and Barbuda.
Congo's fast-moving Ebola outbreak has now killed more than 2,300 people, becoming the deadliest outbreak of the disease on record in the Central African nation. The outbreak is unfolding in one of Congo's most vulnerable regions with over 4,000 cases. This is Congo's 17th and largest Ebola outbreak. It has infected and killed more people at a greater speed than any other in history.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, Dr. R. Brian Langren is the new governor of the Bank of Jamaica.
Murders down 20%.
Several occupants at the Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, Trelawney, given eviction notices. I'm Robeanne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com, and please feel free to join the Nationwide Family Club at patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. News next, the headlines at 6.
Make money now with local City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, child care, cashiering, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, waitering, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects acquired, no age limit. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
Heading back to university this summer? You're probably thinking about tuition, books, and maybe even replacing that laptop that's been hanging on by a thread. We've all been there. The good news? Paying for your education doesn't have to happen all at once. With a Barita Merchant Bank tertiary loan, you can borrow $500,000 and above, repay over up to 5 years, and even begin repaying while you study. So you can spend less time worrying about how to pay for school and more time focusing on what really matters: graduating. Call 876-618-3455 or email banksales@barita.com or visit baritamerchantbank.com/school loans. Barita Merchant Bank, let's get you there.
Hey, turn up for 25. Turn up for 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica made a strong start to the defense of their CFU Under-14 Boys Challenger Title Series. They cruised to a 4-0 win over St. Kitts and Nevis in their Tier 1 Group C encounter in Dominica on Monday. Now, the young Reggae Boys wasted little time asserting their dominance with Kylan Gale opening the scoring in the 7th minute to give Jamaica an early lead. Tyshawn Headley doubled Jamaica's advantage, and that came in minute number 36 for the second goal. Headley struck again just 6 minutes later, converting from the penalty spot in the 42nd minute to complete his brace. Jamaica continued their attacking display, with Basil Trail adding the 4th goal in the 51st minute to complete the convincing victory for the Jamaicans on the day. The result gives Jamaica an ideal start as they look to retain their CFU Boys Challenge side ahead. They welcome the emphatic opening result.
Hot day. We still held on to it, but it was nice. Our coach talked to us, gave us a bit of motivation, and we just went back out there and did our thing.
And the young Reggae Boys are going to be back in action on Tuesday. They'll take on Aruba in their second Group C game. In the other Group C game today, Aruba and Curacao battled out a 1-1 draw, leaving Jamaica at the top of the group in the opening round of the competition. Vauxhall High School, they received a major boost as they continue their preparation for the upcoming schoolboy football season. They won their annual Ali Cup football tournament at the weekend, beating Old Harbour by 1-0. The Ali Cup is a pre-season tournament played in honor of former Excelsior Manning Cup winning captain Alan Cole Jr. En route to winning the title, the Vauxhall team also defeated the reigning Manning Cup champions Excelsior 4-2 on penalties, and their assistant coach Michael Harrison says this is a huge confidence booster just a few weeks removed from the start of the new season.
A very good one. Coming in this institution as the assistant coach, it gave me a very different way how I see football otherwise from playing. So it's a very, very good experience for me. A very good achievement, but one, I learned a whole lot from it. The experience is an unforgettable one, and I only have got to thank and to give him all the praise for it.
That's Michael Harrison, the assistant coach at Vauxhall. The Costa Cup campaigners, William Knibb Memorial High School, were also part of the tournament as well. And their coach, Dwight Jeremiah, says the tournament presented them with some insights into what the coaching staff and players alike need to work on before the start of the new season.
We're not scoring enough, but I wouldn't judge them on that because we're not at that phase yet of our preparation. Because, you know, our Costa Cup actually starts in October. I mean, yes, we'll have the Ben Francis Cup before that, but the Costa Cup first. So some teams that we would have played would have been further along in their preparation because they start every 2 weeks' time. So we can understand that. But there's some, and this tournament is a good one because it shows you up different opponents who plays different ways, and so it gives your players the opportunity to solve different problems. Or problems coming at them, similar problems in different ways. So they have to figure those things out. So
That's Dwight Jeremiah. He's the head coach of the William Knibb Memorial High School, the Costa Cup football team. And the Jamaican swimmer Renee Chung is reflecting on a performance filled with mixed emotions after making what she describes as her final Goodwill Swimming Championship team for Jamaica. Now, Chung, who served as a female captain of the Jamaica team at the recent championships, delivered a standout performance in the 15 to 17 girls category, scoring 77 points to capture the High Points trophy. Her efforts also helped Jamaica to secure a third place overall with 1,019.5 points. Despite her individual success and contribution to Jamaica's medal tally, Chung admits she left the championships and she believed at the time that she fell short of the target she had set for herself before entering the championship.
A little bittersweet. I'm a bit sad that it's my last year, but I'm grateful for all experience and the memories I've learned throughout the years, so I'm actually happy for that. I came out with 6 gold medals, 4 silver medals, 1 bronze medal, and 3 meet records. The aim was to get 30 medals, but I didn't medal in 2 events, so I'm so grateful for the medals that I got. It feels really good, especially because the records that I broke were Jamaican records, so I'm just making another record for Jamaica.
That's Renee Chung. Bahamas topped the standings with 1,378 points, while the host country, Trinidad and Tobago, finished second with 1,225.5 points. Jamaica also secured third place on the overall medals table, ending the championship with 63 medals, 16 gold, 27 silver, and 20 bronze. Bahamas dominated the medal standings with 122 medals, while Trinidad and Tobago, they claimed second place and they bagged 94 medals. And that will do it for sports at this moment. We're going to be back at 6:05 with much more on our major sports cast with Alex Swiby.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
For all your custom framing, printing, graphic design, and purchase of art, Make It Frame Art Jamaica Limited, serving you for over 40 years. The time by Frame Art Jamaica is
5:31.
From the vibrant waterfront setting of Ocho Rios Bay Beach to the breathtaking seascape of Laughing Waters, discover exceptional venues for your special events. The temperature by the Urban Development Corporation is
31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
Bring the heat, feel the vibes. Walkers what brings any meal to life. Get food, great time, side by side. Grill any food type, anywhere you like. Jerk it, sauce it, flavor in every bite. Real Jamaican taste, yeah man, ignite. Bring the heat, feel the vibes. Make moments feel alright. Bring the heat, feel the vibes. Walkers what brings any meal to life. Cook up real flavor and vibes in the kitchen, grill or barbecue. With Walkers with seasonings. Jamaica, get on the road. Discover taste and celebrate and have fun. Join the vibes, get on the road. Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
This month, get on the rum with Appleton Estate Jamaica Rum. Experience extraordinary live music across the island with our limited edition Appleton Estate Sherry Cask rum cocktails and more. Experience Appleton Estate like never before. Get on the rum and celebrate Appleton Estate Rum Month. Must be 18 years old to drink. Drink responsibly.
Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
Summer just got cooler, and so did the prices. LG air conditioners are now at lower prices at Active Home Center. 12,000 BTU, $59,997 plus GCT. 18,000 BTU, $85,997 plus GCT. 24,000 BTU, $106,997 plus GCT. And if Bally's your brand, the offer still stands. Buy any Bally air conditioner and get $15,000 to spend on your next purchase store-wide. Conditions apply. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
Whether you're heading back to school or pursuing new qualifications, at JMMB Bank, Graduate Loan covers your tuition and related expenses with one unsecured loan, flexible repayment terms, and up to 7 years to repay. It's your time to shine. Apply today at jmmb.com. Conditions apply.
At Sherwin-Williams, we're proud to continue delivering the quality products and dependable service you've trusted for years. Our commitment to serving you remains stronger than ever. Whether you are refreshing a room, protecting a commercial property, or tackling your next big project, you can count on us for premium coatings, expert advice, and reliable support every step of the way. Visit your nearest Sherwin-Williams store today and discover why professionals and homeowners continue to choose Sherwin-Williams. Same trusted company, same premium quality, same dependable service.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multi-link?
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for Nationwide at 5. You're in the Cover Story, and I'm your host, Siobhan Campbell. I trust the start of the week is treating you well. And again, special shout out to the YouTubers. Your presence always appreciated on this journey. Well, we turn back to matters of the Caribbean Court of Justice because Justice Winston Anderson, the CCJ president, has strongly rejected allegations of panel fixing and attempts to influence judgments as wholly untrue. Justice Anderson has also condemned the leaking and publication of confidential internal communications, arguing that such disclosures undermine judicial independence and public confidence in the court. The controversy raises important questions about how panels are constituted, the checks and balances within the region's highest court, and what mechanisms exist to address concerns when judges themselves raise questions about the court's administration. So what should the public make of the president's response to the allegations at hand? We are now joined by a few legal minds to discuss further. That's Attorney at Law, King's Counsel Peter Champagny, and Senior Attorney Anthony Williams. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you both. Good afternoon to your listeners.
And it's a pleasure to have you both again. Starting with you, KC Champagny, we had you on last week discussing this very matter. Now the president of the CCJ has responded, suggesting that what started out as a quibble over the uniform nature of the court has turned into something that he describes as wholly untrue allegations of panel fixing. Is that the end of the matter now that the president has responded?
I don't think it's the end of the matter, but I think in an unprecedented move, the president thought it appropriate to respond as he did, and it has certainly put certain things in perspective. But certainly in terms of taking a holistic view of this matter, I do not believe that it is going to be the end of the matter. And I think that with the recent statement that was put out by the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission on this matter, it's important for all concerned to await their inquiry, which they have indicated will be independent, of course, and come to a conclusion in terms of this entire matter.
And Attorney Anthony Williams, what say you?
Well, I would be very, very surprised if the president of the CCJ, Justice Winston Anderson, did not make a statement. And so he was well within his legal rights and administrative rights as the president to make a statement. And as my esteemed colleague, Mr. Champagny, said, he put it in a particular context. The context in which he put it is he's saying, when I read his statement to the media and to all and sundry, is that what turned out to be a sundry item turned out also to be other items to include panel fixing. But a lot of persons do not know what went on. I don't personally know what went on, but if we are to take the president at his word, and I'm not suggesting that it is not true, but he said that in light of the particular case that was involved, he had to ask that particular judge to basically recuse himself for obvious reasons. And in my opinion, he would be well, within his rights, to do that. So I would not be, as I said, I would be very surprised if the president did not make a statement. And I agree with Council Champagne, Peter, that it will not end here. In fact, there is a legal body called the RJLSC, which is the Regional Legal Services Commission, which has the role and function to deal with matters concerning the CCJ and regional law bodies. They too have launched an investigation, and let us see what happened. You know, some things in life have to happen in a negative way for us to move in a positive way. So there's an investigation, and let us see what the RJ LSC will unearth in its investigations.
And we'll touch on that matter of attire and just the matter of regional and socialization later on. But looking at the legal matters up front, the CCJ president has essentially suggested, okay, this morphed into something that it shouldn't have. And then in a bit of retrospection, said, maybe I could have handled this a little less forcefully. Do you accept that statement, Peter Champagne?
Well, you see, Siobhan, it's very difficult to give a complete response. And this is the difficulty that I have, because both myself and Anthony, we operate in a system where there is always two sides to a particular scenario, and it is determined by an independent body. And this is really no different, and that is why you have the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission that was set up, I think, sometime in 2003. And it is set up, I think, precisely to deal with matters like these. So, to answer your question, the challenge that you have, you see, Siobhan, is that whenever judicial officers, as was the case here, publicly come out and make a statement, you're also going to have a situation where it provides more fodder for those who have nothing good to say about the CCJ. It is going to invite more questions than answers. And that is why I do believe that the response by the RJLCS, struck the right tone in terms of the fact that there are mechanisms in place to treat with matters like these. I'm not saying that the public doesn't have a right to know, but it would be very difficult for me to answer that precise question which you just asked, not being au fait with the actual full circumstances. But I understand why the learned president would have felt it obligatory almost to make a statement.
And Anthony Williams, on the same matter...
Yes, let me say this.
Oh, go ahead.
And I'm going to read what Justice Anderson said. He said, as the rules of court did not contemplate hearings conducted in chambers, there were no express provision made regarding attire in CCJ proceedings. He said, over time, however, it became the accepted practice consistent with a number of Caribbean jurisdictions, including those sending their appeals to us, for judges to wear bench jackets during interlocutory and chamber matters. Then gradually it became accepted that the CCJ judges would wear business suits attire when not addressed. But here's the problem. What Justice Anderson is saying, he went on further to say that on the 9th of December 2025, during the hearing of a particular case, Nadira Nunes and others versus Robina Basdio, a Guyanese case, the judge in question did not wear the traditional CCJ clothing. What the judge did was to wear the traditional national attire of his country.
Yes, Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria. So the question is the CCJ or was the CCJ president wrong in making that statement? If you ask me my personal opinion, emphasis on my personal opinion, I think he was well within his rights to make some pronouncements. Because if you are in the CCJ, there's a particular dress code. If you are in the Trinidad Court of Appeal, there's a particular dress. And if there's a Jamaican Court of Appeal, we do the same thing. Why would that particular judge wear his national dress? And I think it is very important for the CCJ president to make a statement, because that could have become a precedent for other judges in the CCJ of other Caribbean countries or other countries to wear what they want. And so I think the CCJ president, in my opinion, was well within his rights to make that statement. And so, in my opinion also, I think that became a stone that hurt that particular judge, and obviously it hurted other judges. And so one sundry item spilled over into another sundry item, and so there was a collation of items to the point where they went on to say, well, you know, the CCJ president seemed to be having an overhanded approach to the matter. I'm happy that he conceded that he may have come across strong, and that's a good posture, that's a good leadership acceptance to tell his colleagues and the wider CCJ fraternity, well, look here, I think I may have overstepped my boundary in terms of how I handle it, but content-wise, he was well within his right.
You know what they say about hindsight and it being 2020. But gentlemen, we're up on a quick break. Let's take that break and come right back.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and it's 31 out west in Montego Bay.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere, spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multilink logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multi-Link?
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the cover story. We are talking about the Caribbean Court of Justice again because CCJ President Winston Anderson has responded to several allegations raised in a chain of leaked emails surrounding his behavior and conduct as the president of that organization, and he has rejected the most damaging ones of panel fixing and trying to influence outcome. Of course, he suggests those allegations are wholly untrue. We have with us Attorney at Law, King's Counsel Peter Champagny, and Senior Attorney at Law Anthony Williams. So on the same matter of the panel fixing allegations, which the President has rejected, Peter Champagny, his immediate fix at this juncture is to suggest that, well, if you are this fearful that I'm attempting to fix the panel, I'll just have every judge sit on every single panel. Is that the appropriate action to take at this time? Oh dear, I think we just lost KC Champagny. We'll try to get him back. So I redirect that question to you, Attorney Williams. Is that the appropriate response? Okay, I will just let every single judge sit on every single panel.
Well, I think the learned president of the CCJ allowed his emotions to override his brain at that juncture. I don't think he should have went on to say that they will sit on every panel. It just simply can't be. Because there will be circumstances where a judge who had conduct, where a judge of the CCJ who may have had conduct of a previous matter that is now before the CCJ, and certainly that person would be asked to recuse themselves. You see, when you're a leader must lead. A leader must never be a follower. A leader must lead, but lead with grace, with dignity, and have his surroundings acknowledged. Yeah? So I think he was going a little bit too far, and as the leader, he has the right to implement a system where judges are selected to be on the panel. He does not necessarily need to be the person who fixes the panel, but like other jurisdictions, there's a system in place to ensure that the panel is selected. But I think, in my opinion, he went a little bit overboard there.
I understand you're back, Casey Champagne. What say you?
Yes, I just wanted to say something. I lost you for a minute there. I want to put this whole thing in perspective, if I can. The issue concerning the dress code and what was appropriate and what wasn't appropriate, I think that's a non-starter. I think that for anyone to complain under the circumstances, even if you were to accept that what they were saying about the learned president was correct, that it is nonsensical. It's a storm in a teacup. So I believe that in the circumstances, what Justice Anderson was attempting to do or did would be well justified. I think the bigger picture and the more hurtful thing for the Caribbean Court of Justice is the allegation concerning fixing of panels and trying to determine the outcome of cases. And to that, the learned president has indicated that that is entirely untrue. And that is why I say that in respect of that, we would now need to go to the commission and to deal with engage the internal systems to have that sorted out or resolved. Because the bigger picture, as I said, is the damage caused as a result of this. And that is, it provides much fodder for those who would want to say that the CCJ should never be our apex court in this region. And that is a concern that I have. The fact that there is leakage in terms of emails and so on again is a major concern, because where does it stop? And the fact that you have persons in the court in terms of judicial officers' comments being ascribed to them and they have not said anything is another concern. Is it true? So that is a larger issue that I think we need to look at and to determine whether or not this which has happened, whether or not it has created damage beyond repair. And it certainly has done damage. And I think anyone who would want to belittle that and to say that it hasn't, we are not being realistic. I saw recently where the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Mr. Gaston Brown, indicated very recently that no, we are not yet ready in light of this current climate. And that is why I say that it is providing much ammunition for those who would want to say we should never ever even think of the CCJ as our apex court.
And on the same point, Casey Champagne, the CCJ president has made quite a bit more heavy weather of the leaks rather than the allegations within them, suggesting that the major point here is the fact that this information was leaked to the press rather than what the allegations themselves are. And while we have his word as the president of the CCJ, remember the allegation of suggestion, or I should say the suggestion that the panel was fixed was not raised by the press. It was raised by a judge within the CCJ suggesting and asking that question. Can we just accept the hand wave of the president as is then?
No, and that is why I go back, and I'm being repetitive now, to say that we really need for the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission to step in and to deal with this matter with some alacrity. Because, one side has said something, if I may put it that way, and then an opposing view is given with an emphatic denial. And in those circumstances, we would have to engage the internal systems to deal with it.
And just in a few minutes left, you want to keep going?
Let me say this, Siobhan, that in relation to the panel fixing, and I agree with Peter, that it's the bigger issue. But one of the things that we need to know as well is that my understanding, and this is also fortified by Justice Anderson's statement, is that the constitution of panels has always formed part of the administrative responsibilities of the the president.
Yes, he made it quite clear it's his sole remit.
Of the Caribbean Court of Justice. That's part of his duty, his responsibility, and obligation. He has also said, and based on my reading and research, that since the establishment of the Caribbean Court of Justice, that responsibility has always been exercised in accordance with a long established institutional practice and with the sole objective of ensuring the orderly, efficient, and impartial administration of justice. But I should also put something in from a perspective. When the panel was constituted in the case of the Almada versus the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, the particular judge in question who was there would have been wearing his national outfit.
Yes.
And so the CCJ president stepped in to say, no, we can't have that. And as a matter of fact, I want to also raise this. The minor issue of the dress code, it was also brought to the attention of the president by one or two chief justices and other legal officers to the CCJ president. So it's not only the CCJ president who had a concern or issue with the dress code, but as my friend esteemed Casey Peter said, we have to focus on the major issue and not the minor one. And when we have judges or their clerks or their assistants or whoever leaking important confidential information to the press or otherwise, that is a serious issue that must be dealt with.
So do you believe that, as is suggested by the president himself and many legal luminaries around the region, that the leak is more important than the information it contains?
It is important, Siobhan, because as in the cut and thrust of things, panels may disagree, panel members may argue amongst themselves, and it may suggest on the face of it a disarray, when it's really not. It is robust discussion, robust exchange of ideas. So one has to be very careful, and that is why I think that the issue of the leak featured heavily in terms of the response of the president of the CCJ.
And while we don't want to major in the minors, we are talking about the Caribbean Court of Justice, this regional, culturally Caribbean body. And one of the points of contentions raised by the president is the fact that they don't want to wear the traditional European robes. Is that really a matter that the CCJ president needs to raise? I mean, I understand decorum, but is it really that important when we're talking about the matter of judicial justice?
I think it's irrelevant. I think it's majoring into the minors, and that is why I say that issue is really a non-starter. And the judge, the president would have and is given certain exclusive authority in terms of the administration of matters, especially in relation to things like these. So it's a non-starter. It's a non-issue.
What say you, Anthony Williams?
Yes, I agree. It's a non-starter. It's really a non-issue. It's really trying to attract the major issue, okay? The judicial code of dressing is very, very important. But let us focus on the major. The leaking of confidential information, the fact that the press has it, the president don't know, some judges have it, some don't. It is very important. There must be sanctity, legal sanctity in terms of confidentiality and information. And as Peter said, judges will disagree at times. The disagreement doesn't mean that they are at war. No, it's part of a healthy legal system. We have had many cases at the local court of appeal level in Jamaica and other Commonwealth Caribbean countries, the Privy Council, where there are dissenting judgments. And the word dissenting judgments, for the benefit of the viewers, means one or two judges who may disagree on certain points of law or the application of the points of law in relation to the particular case. So it's very healthy. So we must not confuse healthy arguments when one or two judges disagree and arrive at a different conclusion and construe it as turmoil or judges being at war in the CCJ.
Senior Attorney Anthony Williams and Attorney at Law and King's Counsel Peter Champagny. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me this afternoon. All the best.
Thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you.
I'm sure this isn't the end of the CCJ matter, listeners. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about this in the coming days, especially after a regional review has been done. But the headlines are next at 6, and then we come back here at 6:25.
Cover story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Ocho Rios, are you ready? The biggest food event in Ocho Rios for the summer is almost here. On Wednesday, August 26th, it's Bird Shack's Ocho Rios BOGO Day from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. at the Ocho Rios Bypass Plaza. When you buy one double-up combo meal, you get another double-up free. That's right, buy one double-up combo and get another double-up combo absolutely free. One day only, one unbeatable deal. Bring your crew, your family, and come hungry because it's gonna be a day packed with flavor, fun, and excitement. And guess what? Miss Kitty will be broadcasting live on Nationwide 90 FM from 1 to 3 p.m. bringing the vibes and turning Bird Shack Ochi into the place to be. So save the date, Wednesday, August 26th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Bird Shack at the Ocho Rios Bypass Plaza. Buy one double up and get another double up absolutely free. Bird Shack, twice the flavor, same price. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Veteran central banker and former regional financial stability advisor Dr. R. Brian Langren has been named the new governor of the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ. The Ministry of Finance announced his appointment in a release on Monday. Dr. Langren's appointment will be effective Wednesday, August 19. He succeeds Richard Biles, whose term ends Tuesday after 7 years. The appointment was made by the Governor General in Council following a selection process run by a search committee set up in April, which the ministry said considered a field of both local and international candidates. Dr. R. Brian Langren arrives with more than 2 decades in central banking, financial stability, and multilateral development work. He has held senior roles at the BOJ in financial stability and economic research. He also served as a financial stability advisor at the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, the IMF-administered body that advises central banks across the region. He holds a PhD in economics from Pennsylvania State University and has published extensively on financial stability and monetary policy. Finance Minister Favour Williams described him as a forward-looking leader whose experience spans Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the wider international development community. Jamaica's point-to-point inflation rate has climbed to 7.5% as of the month of July. That's compared to 6.7% the month before. That's according to the latest information provided by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, on Monday. It's the highest point-to-point inflation figure the country has recorded since February of 2023. The increases have pushed the rate further outside of the Bank of Jamaica's target band of 4 to 6%. This was influenced mainly by the point-to-point inflation rates for the division's food and non-alcoholic beverages, transport and housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. Meanwhile, the monthly inflation rate for July increased by 1.2%. Jamaica recorded a 20% decline in homicides between January 1 and August 15 this year. That's the latest crime data published by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. The JCF says 339 murders were recorded across the island during the period. That's 87 fewer than the 426 people murdered over the corresponding period in 2025. Leading the murder tally is the St. James Police Division, with 42 homicides recorded since January. On the opposing end, the St. Andrew North Police Division continues to record the largest reduction in murders year to date. The division reported 8 killings up to August 15 a 63% decline when compared to 2025. Shootings are also falling, with 330 incidents recorded so far this year. It's a 25% drop compared to last year. Meanwhile, commanding officer for the Area 4 Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Michael Phipps, is crediting peaceful outreach initiatives such as Project STAR for the reduction in major crimes in the Kingston Central Division. ACP Phipps was speaking on a recent episode of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's A Force for Good podcast released on Sunday.
Kingston Central is now a changed place, and this is due largely to the community engagement. You know, we have the Project STAR in the community now.
Yes.
And of course, we have a Zozo. In the year 2024, we had basically no murders in the Zozo for Kingston Central. And Kingston Central continues to show reducing numbers year on year. But the truth is, we could not have done it without the existence of Project STAR and other community leaders who have assisted us in our quest.
Between January 1 and August 15, the division has seen a 15% drop in crime. This year, the Kingston Central Division has seen 5 murders, 7 fewer than the corresponding period last year. This represents a decline of nearly 60%. Project STAR is a 5-year social and economic transformation project that targets under-resourced, underserved communities experiencing high levels of crime or violence. But last month, Project STAR announced that it was set to continue beyond its original 5-year timeline. At least 7 people, including 2 children, have been killed in road crashes across the country between last Friday and Sunday. The deadly weekend on the nation's roads pushes the year's road fatalities to 210. The road fatalities occurred in a series of crashes across several parishes between Friday and Sunday, with speeding, dangerous overtaking, and other risky road user behavior again emerging as major concerns. On Friday, August 14, fatal crashes were recorded in 3 parishes. 1 fatality in Adelphi St. James. A 68-year-old man was killed on Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew, and a hit-and-run collision in St. Mary. The deadly trend continued on Saturday with a double fatal crash on P.J. Patterson Highway, claiming the lives of 2 men. A 57-year-old motorcyclist was also killed in a crash in Hanover, while a 39-year-old man died in a collision at Tower Isle in St. Mary. And on Sunday, 2 separate double fatal crashes claimed 4 more lives, including 2 children. About 3:30 Sunday afternoon, 2 public passenger vehicles were involved in a crash along the AGR Byfield Highway in the vicinity of St. Anne's Bay. An adult male passenger and an 11-year-old child were killed. The Traffic Analysis Unit of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch says the possible causes include improperly overtaking on the offside, excessive speed without regard for the prevailing conditions, and loss of control. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Norige. Banton Sports is next.
Stop buying expensive toner cartridges. Global Ink is now selling new factory direct generic toners. Remove factory seals, install and print. Engineered to work first time, every time. Certified for use in HP and Brother printers. Worry-free, affordable printing for your peace of mind. Money saved is money earned. We deliver island-wide. 754-7444. Never run out of toner again. Global Ink. 754-7444.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Jamaica, get on the road. Discover taste and celebrate and have fun. Join the vibes, get on the road. Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
This month, get on the rum with Appleton Estate Jamaica Rum. Experience extraordinary live music across the island with our limited edition Appleton Estate Sherry Cask rum cocktails and more. Experience Appleton Estate like never before. Get on the rum and celebrate Appleton Estate Rum Month. Must be 18 years old to drink. Drink responsibly.
Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
Back to school season has a way of sneaking up on you. First, it's books, then uniforms, school shoes, a laptop, lunch money, tuition, and somehow the list just keeps getting longer. But here's the good news. Preparing your child for the new school year doesn't have to put your financial goals on hold. With a Barita Merchant Bank back-to-school loan, you can borrow $500,000 and above to finance tuition, books, uniforms, laptops, and other school essentials. You'll also enjoy low rates, reduced fees, and up to 5 years to repay, giving you the flexibility to prepare with confidence. Call 876-618-3455 or email banksales@barita.com or visit baritamerchantbank.com/school loans.
Good evening with your sports reporter, Alex Raby. Now, a number of Olympic and World Championship medalists who were coached by the late Stephen Francis continue to extol the virtue of the man simply known to them as Frano. Nationwide Sports caught up with some of them at his funeral on Saturday at the National Indoor Sports Center as the country said its last goodbye to the larger-than-life figure.
World champion Bridget Foster Hilton and former world 100 meters record holder Safa Powell were the two athletes who really set the MVP track and field club in motion during its infancy stage, before Powell in particular brought global recognition to Francis when he broke the world 100 meters record in 2005. And so on Saturday, both now former athletes, during their tributes at the Thanksgiving service, reflected on how they were discovered by Francis and the moment they first walked through the gates of the club at the University of Technology. When Nationwide Sports caught up with them at the end of Saturday's service, they were both still trying to come to terms with the loss. Foster Hilton was one of three persons who last saw Francis alive, having taken up positions by his bedside at the hospital in the days leading up to his unfortunate passing.
Yes, it is true. I was there with him from the moment he was hospitalized, and here locally in Jamaica actually, because he went abroad and he came back, and I happened to have a little private moment one day. It was just myself and Stephen, and he said, "Bridget, thanks for believing in me. Thanks for giving me a chance. You made me who I am." And that day I just broke down, and I keep hearing those words in my head over and over because I share the same sentiments. I really thank him for believing in me. And you know, he also said that nothing good lasts forever, but really I was hoping that we would have him forever.
Paul, who was overcome by emotions during his tribute, says news of Francis's death rendered him speechless in the days following.
It's crazy how life is, you know. 1 minute a year, next minute, you know, you're gone. But you know, Frano legacy will continue to live on. I just hope that they continue to, build athletes, train athletes, and continue his legacy.
Elaine Thompson-Hera was plucked from virtual obscurity by Francis and made into the fastest woman alive and the second quickest all time. She's also the only woman to win the 100-200 meters double at successive Olympic Games, and she told Nationwide Sports that she never imagined Francis would die before she got a chance to send her own children to him for coaching.
Honestly, I'm still in shock that he has passed. I thought I would have
turn a mother, and my granddaughter, our grandson have come and, go to Stephen to, get some coaching done. But I mean, the family is still mourning. I'm still in shock, and I'm just, I'm just grateful and thankful that he created me into this human, this person, to be the living fast of my life in the 100 meter, to be the double Olympic champion. There's so many much more on the list. And I'm just super proud of myself, and I have to give him a big, huge thanks to him for, creating so many talented athletes from Jamaica.
Erica Williams, affectionately called Wire Waist, won 3 Olympic silver medals, her first in 2008 in Beijing, when she trailed Christine Ohorugu of Great Britain in the women's 400 meters final, and she was still in shock. It was Francis's breakout global championships, where his athletes bagged most medals for Jamaica, with Williams one of these surprise podium finishers. She spoke of the last time she saw Francis.
Yes, just want to say I'm still in shock that he's gone. The last time I saw Fran, I was telling him about how well my life has been. I literally flew to Italy. I was in Italy, and I just had to go to the training camp that we used to train and just say hi. And I was just having a real honest conversation with him, and just to know today that he's not here again, it just breaks my heart, and I'm just grateful and thankful that he took this girl out of St. Elizabeth and made me in a 3-time Olympic silver medalist.
Francis's body was cremated, and a number of athletes coached by him formed a guard of honor around the vessel, carrying the urn at the end of the Thanksgiving service, which was attended by government officials and members of the wider sports and entertainment fraternities.
Now, Jamaican triple jumper Michael Andrew Edwards revealed that his competitive spirit is the secret weapon that usually gets him over the line in top-level competitions. At the World Under-20 Championships earlier this month, Edwards produced a staggering leap of 17.08 meters to not only take gold, but also achieve a world-leading mark. Speaking on the Mr. Analyst podcast, Edwards says he's just now realizing that what he did was remarkable.
I mean, I guess it's sunk in now. It's still crazy to say that I'm at my 17-meter jumper and world champion. That's two crazy things. So it's sunk in now, yes. And a lot of doors are being opened. And I've realized that I'm a lot better than I thought I would be at this point in time. And also the fact I just love pressure, like world pressure. I just love being in a competition where where I'm not just the outlandish favorite. I just jump one jump and everyone's trying to catch up. I want someone to pass me so I can pass them, but I just like that kind of thing.
The former Jamaica College standout also stated that he's ready to perform for Kansas State University.
When you see the program and like what they have there is like you want to find out. So I visited them program. Well, we knew the program was good because we could see that, but you have to see the facilities. The facilities are great. And then like just up there, I feel like it's like a feeling that you can't fake. I've always said this. Like when you go up there, it's like a family kind of feeling. When you go on visits, you could tell when people are like, just like, oh, he's on a visit, so let's be nice to him. It's not that kind of thing. It's like it's just genuine nice people up there.
Michael Andre Edwards. Now, Jamaica made a strong start to the defense of their CFU Under-14 Boys Challenger Series title, cruising to a 4-0 victory over St. Kitts and Nevis in their Tier 1 Group C opener in the Dominican Republic on Monday. The young Reggae Boys wasted little time asserting their dominance, with Killian Gale opening the scoring in the 7th minute to give Jamaica an early 1-0 lead. Ty Sean Headley doubled Jamaica's advantage in the 36th minute. Headley struck again just 6 minutes later, converting from the penalty spot in the 42nd minute to complete his brace. Jamaica continued their attacking display with Basil Trail adding the 4th goal in the 51st minute to complete a convincing opening day victory. The result gave Jamaica an ideal start as they look to retain their CFU Under-14 Boys Challenger Series crown. Headley welcomed the emphatic opening result.
Team played great. Hot day. We still held on to it, but it was nice. Our coach talked to us, gave us a bit of motivation, and we just went back out there and did our thing.
The young Reggae Boys will be back in action on Tuesday when they face Aruba in their second Group C match. In the other Group C game, Aruba and Curacao battled to a 1-1 draw, leaving Jamaica at the top of the group after the opening round of matches. Now to some cricket. As the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League has announced that the Trinidad and Tobago pair of Dwayne Bravo and Ian Bishop are to be the first 2 inductees into the CPL Hall of Fame. Chief Executive Officer at CPL, Pete Russell, says the tournament organizers are working on a huge celebratory ceremony to showcase the achievement of the pair.
We have a really, really cool idea in terms of what the award's going to be. That's kind of a little bit of a work in progress, and I think just a few more boxes that need to be ticked before I can tell you guys about it, but I think it'll be a bit special. Right now, it's going to be an award that is given to those guys that they're going to have something that they can keep, and obviously we'll keep a record of it. Our plan, as time goes by, is for us to have a physical location. Now, the difficulty with that is, where is the home of CPL, right, in terms of this being? You know, is it Barbados that has the mecca of cricket? Is it Guyana that has this amazing, passionate fan base? Is it Trinidad, where, you know, so that's the most winningest team?
Dwayne Bravo is the most decorated player in CPL history with 5 championship titles and 1 as a coach. Bravo finished his career as the 3rd highest wicket taker with 125 wickets. Bishop, the former West Indies pacer, has successfully transitioned to commentary and is widely regarded as one of the best in the world. The ceremony will be held on September 15 at a gala dinner at Hilton Barbados Resort. And now to swimming, as Jamaican swimmer Renee Chung is reflecting on a performance filled with mixed emotions after making what she described as her final Goodwill Swimming Championship team for Jamaica. Chung, who served as a female captain of Jamaica's team at the recent championships, delivered a standout performance in the 15 to 17 girls category, scoring 77 points to capture the High Points trophy. Her efforts also helped Jamaica secure 3rd place overall with a 1,019.5 points. Despite her individual success and contribution to Jamaica's medal tally, Chung admits she left the championship believing she fell short of the targets she had set for herself before the meet.
A little bittersweet. I'm a bit sad that it's my last year, but I'm grateful for all the experience and the memories I've learned throughout the years, so I'm actually happy for that. I came out with 6 gold medals, 4 silver medals, 1 bronze medal, and 3 meet records. The aim was to get 13 medals, but I didn't medal in 2 events, so I'm so grateful for the medals that I got. It feels really good, especially because the records that I broke were Jamaican records, so I'm just making another record for Jamaica.
Renee Chung. Now Bahamas topped the standings with 1,378 points, while host Trinidad and Tobago finished 2nd with 1,225.5 points. Jamaica also secured 3rd place on the overall medals table, ending the championships with 63 medals, 6 gold, 27 silver, and 20 bronze. Bahamas dominated the medal standings with 122 medals, while Trinidad and Tobago claimed 2nd place with 94 medals. And that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Alric Swiby.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jack on my figure, dig the wall. Up a Total Tools. Lead back a figure, trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them, and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option.
Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston.
And lot C6 Jacksaw, Sentence Bay. Call us today.
Jamaica, get on the road. Discover taste and celebrate and have fun. Join the vibes, get on the road. Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
This month, get on the rum with Appleton Estate Jamaica Rum. Experience extraordinary live music across the island with our limited edition Appleton Estate Sherry Cask rum cocktails and more. Experience Appleton Estate like never before. Get on the rum and celebrate Appleton Estate Rum Month. Must be 18 years old to drink. Drink responsibly.
Yo, Jamaica, get on the road.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multi-Link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multi-Link?
From the biggest tracks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today. on Patreon.
Practice. God me say you watch you of me practice.
Every day, Jamaicans have something to say. In the group chats, on social media, in the streets, there's a place where it all comes together. The comment section. This is not a lecture. This is not a call-in show. This is the hottest topics of the day, filtered through real opinions, real WhatsApp messages, real voice notes, real reactions. You agree, disagree, sound off, text it, voice note it, debate it. Comments section, Monday to Friday from 7 to 7:30 p.m. only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
As we grow older, there are many challenges that we have to confront, but these years can represent the best in our lives. Coming of Age during Nationwide This Morning on Thursdays explores issues persons 50 and over confront. It also provides expert opinions on how we can improve the quality of our lives as we get older. That's Coming of Age, this and every Thursday during Nationwide This Morning at 6:51 a.m.
He never shies away from taboo topics. Voyagings After Dark.
The most riveting discussions.
Voyagings After Dark.
Topics that are shunned by society.
And everything else in between. Voyagings After Dark with Kareem Voyagings this and every Wednesday from 8 to 11 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
You can't miss.
What's buzzing?
Celebrity outfits.
Is that a hit or a miss?
Bust the odds.
Jamaica's Got Talent.
Wait, a war man.
Hot takes.
Talk up the takes.
Actual factual. Life is short. Voyagings After Dark.
Come get your mind blown.
And your curiosity explored.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. Welcome back. It's time for the nation's business. And again, we're talking about matters of, I want to say, adverse possession, because several occupants at the Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, Trelawney, have been given eviction notices by the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, that's the NRCA. The fisherfolk and small business operators have been given 1 month to vacate the property which they have occupied for years. The notices were issued this morning. Shalois Michael reports.
Nationwide News obtained a copy of one of the notices addressed to Juliet Plummer. It says the NRCA, the proprietor of Jacob Taylor Beach, is giving her 1 month from the date the notice was served to quit and deliver up possession of the unit she occupies. According to the notice, the premises are required for a public purpose as well as to facilitate repairs and improvements. The notice bears a signature, but the date, place, time, and name of the person who served it were left blank. Plummer owns a restaurant and bar at the location. When our news center contacted her, she says the notice was issued on Monday morning.
This beach was given to fishermen. This morning they came with police. I wasn't here. I didn't reach here because early. But who wasn't here? They put up notice on their doors, and a couple of the doors them still. And over here they give them the notice in their hand with no date.
Plummer, who says she's been at the location for decades, says the notice could affect about 70 occupants.
Maybe it's about 70 fishermen or more. Because you have spear shooter, you have who use the trap, net, a lot of us. Some of them who have the shop here, they are fishermen also. I'm here 28 years. This lady, Jennifer Clark, she's here 40 years.
She says the group's next step is to seek legal advice.
They always try to do it, we have demonstration and it's already down here, in Duncan, because they always try to take us off. We need a lawyer, we have to get a lawyer, and we cannot just leave it like this.
Our news center contacted Chairman of the NRCA, Christopher Weems Stone, on the matter, but he declined to comment. But Nationwide News understands the property is being acquired as part of the government's efforts to improve the country's beaches for public use. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Shaloy. Well, to discuss this further, we're going to be joined by a fisherman from the area. That's Hosang Plummer. We're also reaching out to the president of the Derby Fishing Beach Limited, Ralston Duncan, as well as restaurant and bar owner Juliet Plummer. But we press on with with Hosang Plummer at this moment. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Not so good, Not so good, you know what I mean?
I can imagine.
Disappointment this morning, you know what I mean?
So,
you know what I mean?
So please tell me, Mr. Plummer, how long have you been down there at that location?
I've been there since 1992. Actually, I grew up there, you understand?
1992,
Grew up there.
wow.
Yeah, become a fisherman and everything. Went to school, could send my kids to school and all that. You know what I mean? And we try to keep the beach at the perfect condition. We do the necessary things. I like my business and everything. The government, I get stamp of approval. Not so long ago, so I don't understand what's happening right now, you know what I mean? We need some help, we need some good talking from the national, the necessary entities who are doing this, you understand me? Nothing is proven to show who we get the notice from, it just was there. The person who did it came with police and everything. So we have no idea how to approach this, really.
Well, it apparently comes from the Natural Resources Conservation Authority. But is this the first notice that you've gotten from them?
No, we have gotten it before, about 10 years ago or so, or probably more. And when they try to approach us and we bring the necessary authority, they are stepped away. And nothing else was said or be done, you know what I mean? We pay taxes and everything we used to, and when they realize the funds were going to whosoever, who they know and who we don't know, because they sell people to collect money from us, and they were here at that time. We used to pay the money at the Scotia Bank in Palma too. But ever since everything that somebody was getting the money illegally from us.
Wait, to suggest that, go again. You're suggesting that you've been paying for the properties this entire time?
Were. And after, yes, but probably about 10 years ago or so when they came and tried to take it, and then there was no actual owner who were paying going to, they have to be seized taking the money.
Wait, did this person say they were an agent of the state?
Yeah, they were from the NRCA same way. And we were paying the money towards them. Don't know who it was, a private individual. Because there was a man named Mr. Dawes and one named Mr. Aaron who used to came about and do all of that, set up the necessary papers, and give us, and we got all the okay from the government to go and deal with our business. So
this additional notice you're suggesting came as a shock?
It has to be a shock to everybody, even the public who are using the place. Understand me? This is something that we say, I mean, we don't understand. My business is nice. I'm a licensed fisherman also. That's where I make my daily bread every day. So right now this is like, I don't know, like them are trying to stop people from living. I don't know, because how we're going to survive. This is all I know. I don't know nothing else.
Oh dear. So tell me, when you received the notice today, did you reach out to the NRCA for an explanation?
I did call the head office in Kingston. They have no idea what was going on. I sent them an email. Them asked me to send them an email of the permit. I gave them my number and they should have called me back. Nobody called back and explained nothing to us. So this is very detrimental to everybody's livelihood right now.
Okay. Please, Mr. Hosang, stay with us for a minute. Mr. Plummer, we're going on a break. Please stay with us for a minute, because this is odd.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is...
It's 6:31. Welcome back, listeners and viewers. We're talking about a potential case. I'm going to change that from another to a potential case here of adverse possession out there in Trelawney, this time at the Jacob Taylor Beach in Silver Sands, where some occupants have suggested they've received notices to vacate the property from the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, that's the NRCA. We have two of those individuals on, that's fishermen from the area, Hosang Plummer, and restaurant and bar owner Juliet Plummer. Madam Plummer, I understand then that you are related to Mr. Plummer. That's Hosang Plummer?
Yes, I do.
What's the relation?
Cousin.
Okay, so it's your cousin. So based on that, you've had quite the family and community down there on Silver Sands.
Yes, we'll go here.
And just like Mr. Plummer there, I'm assuming then this is not your first notice or alleged notice from the NRCA regarding the vacation of that property.
Yes, we got one from Nipper. It was like, I think, 2008 or 7. That was the time we got a notice. And Mr. Atkinson was the MP that time.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Collins was their lawyer for Nipper. And we used to pay money. But Mr. Collins said they never receive any lease from us, which we pay Scotia Bank. We pay Mr. Chedison from Silver Sands Estate. And we pay Mr. Dawes. I think he's deceased now.
So what exactly have you been paying? They say they never had a lease for you, but what have you been paying in terms of the understanding between you and the authorities then?
We used to have lease, you know. They used to write us lease.
Yeah, they used to give us lease and give us receipt, but the storm damaged everything. But we have a lease paper right now from Jennifer Clark.
So
I have it here with us.
So please tell me, Ms. Plummer, under the circumstances, when you received that notice back in what you said 2007, 2008, and you pursued it, what was the eventual outcome? Did you get an understanding from the authorities that yes, you are lawfully allowed to reside here for X period of time? What was the ultimate understanding that you got from the government?
Mr. Atkinson dealt with it with Nipper, and that was it.
Did he come back to you and tell you what the arrangements were?
Not really, but they said we was not paying the lease to nobody because they said they wasn't getting any money.
So
it can be a situation. It could be a situation where and we have seen that a lot of time ago that the situation is there.
All of the shop people them were paying money. All of the business people.
And that is what I'm actually trying to get at now. The individuals that you have suggested that you've been paying money over to all this time.
It wasn't an individual.
It wasn't an individual. What was it exactly? You were paying into a bank account.
To the NRC.
Yes, everybody is paying their money. Everybody paid individual.
Yeah, but we individually paid, but it wasn't that special person. We're paying it to the NRCA office. Because all of the receipts that we had was from the NRCA.
Are you sure that you were paying it to the NRCA?
We have no idea.
Yes, because Mr. Dawes, who worked with NRCA, he was the one when they were developing the beach. He was the one was here.
Who is Mr. Dawes? Do you have a first name for this Mr. Dawes?
Kojo Dawes. Kojo. I think he died. I think him and them will have a legal battle in court. And he won that legal battle. But he died now, I hear.
This one sounds a bit messy. So please tell me, I understand from what was explained to me from Mr. Plummer, did you yourself reach out to the NRCA when you received that notice today to vacate the property in a month? What was the response from them?
I didn't talk to them. Because you can't get them when you want them. I didn't try.
Oh dear.
Because this is things what they are doing, so I don't try.
But you have to have an understanding. I mean, you say you're going to seek some legal advice, but shouldn't you have an understanding as to what the situation is from the end of the government side before you seek that legal advice so you know what exactly you're challenging?
I didn't call, but somebody called and they said they didn't aware of this notice.
Okay. And under the circumstances, what is your next move? Do you have the intention to stay on the property or are you going to vacate it?
I have an intention to stay. I'm here 28 years. People are here for over 40, 50 years.
I'm sure.
And we have fish Fisher folks also too.
Yeah, but you understand the situation in Cooper's Pen, which is not too far from where you are.
Yes,
You understand what could potentially happen.
Well, I don't know what's happening down there, but this one we have to try and sort it out too.
Mr. Plummer, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
So, will you be staying there as well?
Well, I don't have any other thing to do. That's my life. That's my life. That's all I depend on. That's how I survive. You understand?
So, what about the other residents in the area? Are you guys getting together to try and challenge this matter?
We are getting together and get to the bottom of it. If it's a problem now, we are already paying lease, and if they are offering to set up here, we are the individual who are there. We were giving them money. They know what they're going to do.
But please tell me, Mr. Plummer, because this is the matter I'm saying. You say you've been giving them money.
Yeah, we are telling them we have to pay the money, so we don't going to pay. That's what we want to do.
But are you certain that the money you were giving was going to the NRCA or to the government specifically?
This was a thing that was set up by a gentleman.
And over the years that you've been there, have you reached out to the NRCA to say, have you been receiving my lease payments?
We had.
And what was the response?
Nobody could come back. I guess the account that we were paying to at the push back on that person.
I can't hear you clearly, Mr. Plummer. We're going to have to try to get you back. Are you with us, Ms. Plummer?
Yes, I'm here.
So the money you've been paying over, did you reach out to the NRCA to verify that they have been receiving these payments, and what was the response?
When I talked to Mr. Colley, the lawyer Colley, he said they don't get any money. So from that time we stopped. And we stopped from the same time when Mr. Atkins was stepping. And if we are Fisher folks, we don't think we should pay money.
But this is a very interesting one. So when the NRCA told you that they have not been receiving these payments, did you inquire as to where those payments were going?
No, we didn't inquire it.
But under the circumstances, Ms. Plummer, you don't find that a little odd? You say you've been paying money for a lease to an individual. The NRCA said they have not been collecting this money from any such individual.
NRCA get the money. They get the money.
But they say they haven't gotten it.
We pay at the bank. We pay the agent what they send down here all the time. Much years we are dealing with Mr. Dawes until he can't see. That is the time when Mr. Dawes stopped come here. So we were paying them.
Are you sure? When you contacted the NRCA and they have suggested to you that they have not collected any money on behalf of you and your fellow residents down there, did you inquire to the individual you were paying that money to? Where did that money go?
I didn't really do anything. I didn't really inquire it.
But don't you find it a little unusual then that somebody's been collecting money on your behalf and not paying it over?
Hold on. Let me say something.
Go ahead, Mr. Plummer.
I think when what happened was when the all investigation started on the property, it was that it was illegal for the NIPA to come ahead and take it. That it was actually belonging to some individual who
I'm sorry, Mr. Plummer, we can barely hear you. I'm going to give you a chance to reconnect with us. Please, producers, try to reconnect with him because he seems to have an understanding of the situation that we don't. So we'll try to get back in contact with you because I really need to understand the circumstances here because it doesn't make sense to me that you've been paying money to NEPA or the NRCA rather, and someone's been collecting that money, and then the NRCA is telling you we have not received any such payment, and then there's no follow-up as to where that money has been going. So have you reached out to our attorney, Mrs. Plummer? Ms. Plummer, have you reached out to her? You said you were going to seek legal advice. Have you reached out?
We do.
Okay, so you've gotten legal representation now. What has been the advice from that legal representative?
We're just talking to them right now.
Okay. So,
we are just talking, so I can't give you any information.
Okay. And under the circumstances, you say you've been there for well over 20 years.
28 years I'm here.
And under those circumstances, when you reach out to the NRCA and they suggested to you that they did not collect any money on behalf of any individual in that location. Did you again reach out to your MP to try and understand what the circumstances were?
No, I didn't really reach out to him.
And do you have proof of these payments that you could hand over to the NRCA?
Maybe we could get some from the bank.
Well, yeah, because most of our
The bank must have some information and some of us because it's
yeah, but
a lot
one
of
the
us.
thing what happened.
We have you back, Mr. Plummer? Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Plummer. Go ahead.
I'm saying most of the shops were destroyed in the Melissa hurricane, and a lot of us lose a lot of papers too. You understand? A lot of my stuff that went up inside there. You understand? I have a lot of whole stuff that are from back in the day that we try to keep as proof.
Okay, but you said you've been making these payments to Scotiabank, and they must have the account on file to say this has been receiving
Right,
payments.
I said they must have it, the bank must have it.
So you need to, and this is my recommendation, that then if you have been making those payments and there was legitimate payments to the NRCA, even though based on what you're suggesting, the NRCA say, we have not received such a payments, you need to approach the bank and get that information as to who has been collecting that money.
We will do that.
But even then, you said that you stopped making those payments. When did you stop making those payments?
During the time when we get the last lease.
And that was when?
When we get the last notice.
And when was that? When was that last notice? Exactly. Well, not exactly, but approximately.
We can't give you exact time. I think it's during Mr. Atkins' time. That was like 2007-8.
So 2007, 2008. So you've not made any additional payments since that period of time?
No.
Okay. And in that period of time, did you reach out to NRC and ask them if they are still interested in vacating you from the land?
Excuse me. We don't think we should pay because we are fisher folks.
I can't argue to that point, Ms. Plummer, but under the circumstances, I think you probably should have been paying full stop, because it doesn't sound like the money that you were paying is going to the NRCA.
They get it.
Oh, well, as I said, I hope that the bank and your legal representative can work this out. It seems that we have... Ms. Plummer, are you there?
This beach is not for government. This beach was given to fishermen.
I don't know if that's how it legally works, Ms. Plummer. All beaches at this moment are considered held by the crown for the interest of Jamaicans. I don't know if I don't know if there's such a thing in Jamaica as a quote-unquote private beach.
We are on property. We are not on the beach front. We are on property.
And do you? And let me ask. This is the last question I'm asking. Do you understand who owns that property under the circumstances?
I don't really remember.
Oh.
I don't really remember, but those fishermen who used to be here, they used to be here.
This is all I can say, Ms. Plummer. This seems very messy. I think we really do need to speak with the NRCA and get a more detailed understanding of the circumstances, and we will definitely reach out to you and Mr. Plummer again, because I am trying to grasp what is taking place, and I am struggling with this. So please, Ms. Plummer, please stay with us. We're going to take your number. The producer will take your number along with Mr. Plummer, and then we are going to reach out to the NRC, and we're going to try to understand what is taking place. So stay on the line, but that's where we have to leave the nation's business. We take a quick break, listeners, and then come back with Around the World.
The Jamaica International Financial Services Authority promotes Jamaica as a jurisdiction for international financial services. Visit JIFSA at jifsa.gov.jm. The time by JIFSA is...
It's 6:47.
Heading back to university this summer? You're probably thinking about tuition, books, and maybe even replacing that laptop that's been hanging on by a thread. We've all been there. The good news? Paying for your education doesn't have to happen all at once. With a Barita Merchant Bank Tertiary Loan, you can borrow $500,000 and above, repay over up to 5 years, and even begin repaying while you study. So you can spend less time worrying about how to pay for school and more time focusing on what really matters: graduating. Call 876-618-3455 or email banksales@barita.com or visit baritamerchantbank.com/school loans. Barita Merchant Bank, let's get you there.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. It's time for Around the World, and we're going to Europe, where drought conditions are really starting to take a toll because wildfires continue to spread across Western Europe, forcing thousands of people to evacuate as hot and dry conditions fuel the blazes. In England's West Midlands, firefighters are tackling multiple fires while dozens of people have been treated by ambulance crews. Meanwhile, the extreme heat and dry conditions are also impacting global food production. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization says global food prices have reached their highest level in 3.5 years. In the UK, wheat, barley and oat yields are expected to fall, with the country's cereal harvest forecast to be the worst since records began in 1984. Similarly, in South Korea, record temperatures have also affected potato farmers, while the UN warns that extreme heat and drought are threatening staple crops, including maize, rice, soy, and wheat. More in this report from the BBC.
Now here in the UK, firefighters are continuing to tackle fires for a second day across the West Midlands. Multiple fires tore through the region yesterday, destroying homes and forcing dozens of residents to evacuate. 19 people were taken to hospital. Officials say a fire in Stourbridge was one of the most significant that they'd had to deal with. Sean Dilley has this report.
The gutted shells of homes in Stourbridge. This, though, is just one scene of devastation locally. Several grass fires are believed to have started near a golf course, forcing residents from their homes.
I went out with a hose pipe trying to damp the fence down, but it didn't make any difference. It was just so quick, and it was 10 foot, 12 foot high. It was way above me. I tried to stay there as long as I could, but it overpowered me in the end, so I had to come in.
Around 100 firefighters were deployed to the area to tackle several fires. Residents described flames cutting through woodland.
I have been in touch with the Prime Minister this evening that has offered the region his support and the government support, and I will be talking to the Chief Fire Officer a bit later this evening and conveying to him the thanks to the Prime Minister for the work the Fire Service have been doing.
Several people have been treated for smoke inhalation. A child and 3 firefighters are among those taken to hospital. Last night, the Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, said it was awful to see communities and homes hit by fires across the country tonight as the heat wave continues. My thoughts are with everyone affected, particularly those who have been injured or forced from their homes, and with the firefighters who have been taken to hospital. He said he's in touch with local leaders and he paid tribute to firefighters, urging people to stay safe and follow their advice. Multiple fires were reported in Birmingham's Druids Heath, and major responses were also triggered in Worcestershire and in Warwickshire. In Stoke-on-Trent, homes were evacuated, causing upset and fear.
Well, I'm really surprised, yeah, and when you look at the house, we can see at the moment really devastated, the roof's out and everything. Yeah. And people are telling us there's 5 or 6 houses now that are totally burned out. Yeah.
A lot of people here that don't know if they're going back to anything or if they've got anything left.
If it happened to me, I wouldn't know where to look. But as a community, we're here for it.
The West Midlands Fire Chief Simon Toohill thanked his fire crews, who he said have been working incredibly hard in some of the most challenging conditions I've ever seen in 28 years of the fire service. He said, "I am deeply grateful for all they have done." Emergency services are experiencing high numbers of calls as Britain's hot weather stretches resources. The ask from authorities is to only dial 999 in a genuine emergency to help prioritise demand. Sean Dilley, BBC News.
Well, these extreme global weather events are putting severe pressure on food security. Here in the UK, the exceptionally hot spring and summer has experts warning that this year's harvests could be the worst on record. Wheat, barley and oat yields are still all expected to fall. And the UK's cereal harvest, which includes critical staples like rice, wheat and maize, is on track to be the worst since records began in 1984.
So there you have it, listeners. We are not the only people this summer suffering under the extreme heat and dry conditions. But I really want to reflect on what we learned there in the nation's business and just over the last week, listeners, because as you could have seen, I was trying to get an understanding there from those residents down at Silver Sands, Jacobs Beach, I believe it is. And I was struggling because first, when I went into the nation's business, I understood it was a simple matter of the NRCA wanting to vacate informal residents. But now I'm getting an understanding that the residents believe that they were paying for a lease up to 2007 to an individual they say represented the NRCA, only for the NRCA to say no such money was being collected on their behalf and no such individual has lodged any such payments. And what a mess, listeners. But at the root of the problem, and it extends into what took place in Cooper's Pen, and we've had other such stories over the years about illegal settlements and the need to deal with this level of informality. And we always kick the can down the road because, let's face it, it's not politically convenient to deal with adverse possession and illegal settling. Why? Because most politicians know that's where they're going to get their votes when it comes election time. And in the matter of Cooper's Pen, I'm going to be blunt, where a member of the government attempted to use taxpayers' money, to use the government's resources to essentially deprive an individual or company of their land. I want to go as far to say they attempted to steal that individual's property to give to other individuals because it would have been more politically convenient to them. It should shock and it should disturb any well-thinking Jamaican, especially if you are a member of the middle class and you spend your life working, toiling, trying to make something better of yourself, trying to better your position. Consider a circumstance where a government member can use his political will, his ego, and his political power to try to vacate you for his own convenience in order to satisfy another part of the electorate, not for the public good, not for an infrastructure project, not for a necessary highway or a school, but because, well, these residents might give me more votes, or it might give my party more votes. So, it might be more convenient if I reached out to them rather than to you. That should shock every Jamaican, because it means you working within the system, being a lawful individual, your rights mean nothing compared to the rights of those who informally take advantage of the system. And when I heard that news last week, it brought me to my lowest point in terms of the trust and pride I had in my country. Because I have spent my life trying to build something. I haven't reached where I want to reach yet, and I'm still trying to get there within the bounds of the law. So if within the bounds of the law, I have to struggle and others just can get what is given to them because they have done something illegally, it doesn't spell well. But when I heard Saeed, and he delivered a master class in terms of legal education on Friday, when I heard how he outlined what the judiciary's response to that situation was, my faith in my country was restored. Because it means I have a judicial system that understands that my rights as an individual are sacrosanct and they cannot be taken away just because it's politically convenient. And I even segue further to say, when I heard the judgments that were delivered over that period from 2010 up to 2016 and even more so in 2024 and 2026, it reminded me that our judicial body here in Jamaica is worthy of respect. And this idea that we are not capable of handling matters such as becoming the final say, the final appellate say on legal matters for this country is hogwash. Our judges can do it. There is no need to go to the CCJ. There is no need to go to the Privy Council. Justice can stop here in Jamaica. And that was reaffirmed to me last week when I heard Saeed Bernard deliver those statements. So thanks to you, Saeed, for reaffirming my faith in my country and reaffirming my faith that my country can be a thriving democratic nation. But that's where we leave it, listeners. Nationwide at 5. Please stay tuned for the comment section with Mahiri Stewart and Shaloy Smichael. Thanks to our super producer this evening. That's Sonia Stewart. She's filling in for Dana Davey as Dana takes some very, very much needed rest as she delivers new life into this country. Sonia was assisted by her friend Jasmine Kennedy, and also thanks to our super newsroom led by the very capable Cara Powell. And as always, thanks to our YouTubers Sharon Bless, Calvin Daly, Dre Views, Marigold, Super Marigold, Beverly Ricketts, Carlene Smith, Rebecca, all of you. Thank you for joining us on this journey. It has been a pleasure and a privilege. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
For all your electronic